Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another video, folks. In this video, I'm going to show you the location of all of the unique dinos here on the Lost Island. I'm going to start with the Cinemacrops. Now, they do spawn pretty much everywhere in the jungle, but this is a good place to come and find them. So you can see the coordinates. They are 58.7 by 41.5. So this is what the area looks like. Just kind of give you a aerial view. Now, they do spawn in the forest. They are small, so they can be difficult to see, but if you do have tech gear, you can use the scanner to actually spot them. As I said, they are quite small, they can be quite difficult, and there are ways of taming them. I do have a full guide to how to tame them here in this cave, and let me just see if I can find any of them flying about here. But there is a cave that you can actually kind of kite them into and tame them easier. There's one right there. So as you can see, they are very tiny. There we go. So that guy is kind of flying away from me. I have scared him off. But beyond this waterfall, there is a cave. And most often in this cave, you will find one or more Cinemacrops. If you don't find them in here, you can always kite them into the cave. So that is one way of doing it. As I said, you can also find them pretty much everywhere in the jungle area. So out of here, not far from this location, we have the Redwood Forest. So this brings us to the other new dino with the Lost Island. And of course, that is the Dinopithecus, or the baboon, whatever you want to call it. And they do tend to spawn pretty much everywhere in the Redwood Forest. They do spawn in large groups. As for taming them, you have to kill all of the other baboons around the alpha, then do some damage to the alpha, and then you're free to tame them. So let me see if I can find one about here. It may take a bit of searching. Now, of course, the Redwood Forest is a dangerous area, so do come in here prepared. Let's see. It shouldn't be that difficult. There we go. We've got ourselves some Dinopithecuses. This is the alpha right here. Let me see. There we go. Now, they do run about. The best way of taming these guys is, of course, with the use of a trap. I do have a guide for that as well. So go and check out my channel. It is quite an effective way of taming these guys, to be fairly honest with you. But here we are. We found the entire group. Next up, I'm going to show you the Frost Wyvern Trench, or the Ice Wyvern Trench. This is what it looks like. This is an aerial view, and I'm going to bring up the map and GPS so you guys can see the coordinates, and of course my location on the map as well. So it is in the snow biome. Be careful for that. So it kind of starts from around here. As you can see, we've got a wyvern right there, a nice wyvern right there, and all throughout this area there will be nests in the cliff face. So as you get past these crystals, you can see holes in the cliff, and sometimes they will spawn a nest. See if I can find one or two. I guess there aren't any out here, but there is another little hidden cave right here, and over here most often you will find a nest or two. So there we go, there's a nest right there. Things haven't properly spawned in just yet, but there we go. There's our very first ice wyvern egg. I was going to call it a snow wyvern. Not far from the snow wyverns, we can find our next new creature. So there we are. These are the coordinates. Of course, these new creatures, the Amargosaurus, can be found in the ice biome, snow biome, as well as around the volcano and in the desert biome, which is far south. But also up here, you can also find the Managarmer. They do tend to move around, so keep that in mind. I'm not really going to show you the coordinates, but if you find the wyvern's nest, or if you scout the snow biome, you are bound to bump into one of them. They don't really tend to spawn very frequently, so there may be one or two, maybe 3, 4 at the max in the biome, so keep that in mind. But as you can see, they do fight the Amargosaurus, but that is one Managarmer right there. Now again, from the snow biome right at the edge, there is this little cave right here, and inside you can find quite a few things. So coordinates are 28.0 by 54.1. Beyond the waterfall, there is a little entrance. This is the Aberration Cave, so we'll wait for things to spawn in. And in here there are actually quite a few creatures that you can find. I'm not quite sure if you can tame them, but let's have a look. So over there we have our very first one. This is the Ferox. So this is actually quite a high level. So with this you would have to use element. There's quite a few of them, so you have to be careful because they are quite tiny and they do die easily. And down here, if we go further into the cave, you can see that we have some of the glowtails. Again, tiny little creatures. And we also have the ravagers. We also find the aberrant versions of certain creatures like the raptors, for example. So a lot of bad things here. It is going to be difficult taming these. Not far from the snow biome we have the volcano biome, and right in between them we have another wyvern trench. Here you can find your favorite wyverns, so that will include the fire wyvern, poison wyvern and lightning wyvern. It is a wyvern trench as you would expect, and so in the cliff you will find holes where randomly you may obtain a nest, and of course in the nest you'll find eggs. See if we can find any of them. That's what the holes look like. There's also quite a lot of resources here that you can come and farm if you're brave enough. But this is one egg right here. This is a fairly long trench, and as you can see, there will be wyverns to deal with. But if we go further deep in it, and we can see there are some resources. We have some mantises here if you do want any organic polymer. So lots of little holes. You did see another nest there to the right side. So far we only have 2 nests that we've seen, but this is a good place to come and get some wyvern eggs if you do want to get some classic wyverns. There's another one right here. So far we found 3 nests. Also in the volcano there are 2 caves where we can find the Magmasaur eggs. So first one is right here. These are the entrance coordinates, and as you go in, as you can see, there's plenty of lava, and around the lava there will be nests. Not all of them will have eggs, so it does take a bit of scouting around to actually find the egg. There is the first 2 Magmasaur eggs. So just showing you off the Magmasaur eggs. So this is cave number 1. Right around the corner from this there is another cave, and in there you can find some more Magmasaur eggs. This one is actually on the far end, and the other cave is actually close to the entrance into the Wyvern Trench. So Wyvern Trench right there, and right here is the cave where the next batch of eggs can be found. So just putting this out so you guys can see. And in here, this actually is quite smaller, but again, there is another Magmasaur egg. Also in the volcano biome, you can find yourself some Amargosauruses. They do tend to spawn around here, and they are hostile to other creatures, so you might want to try and move it away if you want to tame one. And not far from the volcano, we can find this patch of land here. We can find the Maywings. I'm going to show you the map location and GPS coordinates in a bit. There are actually 2 spots where you can find these, and here is my location on the map and the GPS coordinates. And the coordinates are 27.4 by 81.7. So this is location number 1, and also not far from here, we have a location where we can find some of the Griffins. So this is one spawn point for the Griffins. They do tend to fly around, so you might have to do a bit of scouting. The coordinates are 34.1 by 79.9, and this is just one Griffin, so they do tend to spawn in pairs. However, they do move about, so it is very likely that the other one is a bit further along. Whilst we are here in the volcano biome, sometimes close to the Wyvern Trench, so that's where it is, you can find this creature. This is the Bacillus. This is a bit of a rarer creature, so it is kind of like the Managarmr. It does take some time to find it, and you can see it is dug in. So the coordinates are 32.7 by 65.4, and of course, if you do want to tame yourself a Basilisk, this is where you will come. Let's have a look at the level. This is actually quite a high level Basilisk. Further along, we have another location where we can find ourselves some Maywings. Coordinates are 53.7 by 72.6. Also in this area, you will find Gigas. that spawn here, as well as unicorns. So I'm going to try and find one. I know there is one that I left around here, so hopefully we find it. There we have it. This is the unicorn that I was on about. Luckily, there isn't a giga around to eat it. They do tend to die out pretty quick, but I have seen the unicorns quite regularly spawn in around this area, so this is definitely a place to come and search for them. My coordinates are 47.6 by 80.1, so you can see where I am located, but it is definitely worth scouting the entire area if you want yourself a wonderful unicorn. So here we are with another spawn location for the Griffins, and this is where I'm at. So I'll show you the location and GPS coordinates this time around. We have 2 Griffins, so let me show you their levels, and I'm going to show you the map and GPS coordinates. I'm waiting for the map to load, but the GPS coordinates are 66.0 by 31.6. There we have it, folks. That pretty much brings this video to an end. Several creatures that I did not cover would be the rock golems, and these can be found in the desert biome down south. So south of the map there is an entire desert biome. Of course, there you can find the desert worms as well as mantises, which of course do also spawn in the volcano biome. But that pretty much covers all of the unique creatures that you can find here on the Lost Island. Hopefully this video you found helpful. If you have, please do not forget to support me and the channel by hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already for more similar content from myself. And if you have just subscribed, why not check out some of my other videos and content here on this channel? Who knows, you might just enjoy it. Also, for those interested, you can always find me on the Sethtopia Discord. Links to this, of course, you can find down below in the video's description. And until next time, stay safe, folks.